Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Okay, so I have jumped back to the yellow science. This is running 15.16. It's kind of an issue. We're still doing our 6K. I've decided that we tried to give belts a chance. They have let us down. We are not going to do it anymore. I'm going to get rid of the belts and see what we can do, and I'm going to do it fairly quickly so that we can see the impact. So basically all of the belts are to go. Dude, just get out of there. Right. All of the belts are to go. All of the belts up here are to go. All the belts up here are to go. Hopefully this shuts down the science altogether for a moment. Right. And we'll probably get loaded up with copper cable, which we're not going to want, of course. Now, instead of using belts, what we are going to do is, well, we'll run back down to the bottom, get it sorted. Instead of using belts, what we will do is put in a supply chest, a passive supply chest, and we'll lock it so that only one oh, too slow. Oh god. Only one can fill up. These will request maybe 200. But I'll get rid of all of mine into there, and that way we get rid of belt, we get rid of 2 stack inserters per thingy, so it's times 63 or so, which as you know adds up to lots and lots of UPS is the word I was looking for there. And what else we can do is we can probably, for sure, we can get rid of one more of these machines because they overproduce relative to I don't need that to do those anymore. They overproduce relative to our requirement. Okay, these ones are going to have to have a requester chest there. Give us another space. And it will make requests for copper cable, the amount of 200, and that's basically how it works. Oh, I've got no room. Great. And I've got tons and tons of copper. If I replace that with trees, is it going to take it away from me? Yes, it is. Thank you so much. We'll take it away and we'll keep delivering it. Okay. Massive supply chest. No, look, just take that. Would you stop, machine? I need to get into this. Thank you. Why is it requesting 1.6? I don't want it to request one. Oh, maybe I do want it to request 1.6. Alright, just however much copper I've got on me, you can take. Good. Now, that's basically the idea. Requester. Good. And come on, dude, just get through there. Copper cable. So what I'm going to do actually is I'll speed up doing this process. I'll check back to you when it is done, and hopefully we'll see a benefit. See you soon. And welcome back. Well, since you've been gone, I've actually upgraded to 1624. So you are pretty close behind me. I have also done my equations all over again, and though you can't see it because I've got the blueprint out, we're back at 6060, but I'll explain how that's happened in a second. I've done all my maths again. Many brain freezes later, I've come to the conclusion that this outpost that we're working on needs to be just the smelting of the stone brick, and we will do the conversion to furnaces as part of the purple science. It will be slightly oversized, but it will fit there. So this is just a copy of our standard furnace setup that I took from Big Bro Steel. I've pruned this down to just the two lines. Now, I actually don't need this to be as big as it is. I think I can basically get rid of all the corner pieces, so I'm going to do that just because it will tend to... I could probably actually get rid of slightly more than just the corner pieces, but if I get rid of the corners, well, we won't be travelling to the furthest extent of a 14 piece guy when a 13 width guy would suffice. And it's our homage to the hemisphere. There you go, our homage to the hemisphere. So yes, this thing is basically back in action at 15. My mod sometimes gets up to 0.1, but there was an interesting thing they've done in 1614, which is they've added a on nth tick function. What you previously had to do was on every tick and then check which tick it was, being 60 ticks. That's what the 60 is. And so there's a certain amount of overhead checking which tick you are on and doing that every tick. So the on nth tick should be more efficient for all of those tick functions. So we should just implementing that should trim a little bit of time off this. And there's some indexing I can do to probably trim quite a lot more off as well. But yeah, what's basically happened is, remember the huge backlog of copper that we had over here? Well, now it's all gone. we have the ore, but the copper plate, 3.3 million, is all gone. And that's fantastic. There's no reason not to put copper back online. And also, what's going on up here? Not all the robots are busy because they're slowly running out of work, and I'm probably going to let them kind of run out. No radars up there yet. There are some bits like this that I'd like them to fix up. Which is sort of coming about because there are some trees that weren't pre-cleared, so yeah, it's the issue that I guess I've kind of mentioned before about these current whoops. Oh, of course that doesn't work. It needs to be up there. So yeah, we're not going to be worrying about that, though. I'll worry about that in my own time. But yes, I'm kind of going to let solar finish up where it's up to, and where are we at? 639,000. So I guess about 640,000, and we'll see if that's enough to get some science up and running. Because I guess there's several tasks we need to do to well, get into a fully ready state, and that's obviously finish this stone brick processing. Then if we go to map view, we have this has to be fixed up. Then I want to redo these stacks in line with this format. Then I probably need to relook at maybe red and blue. I'm not sure I want to touch green. Green is, we've got these lines, but it's basically direct feed of the copper cable into the green circuit machines. And the ratio is close to perfect. It's not perfect, but it is close to perfect with the productivity modules. It's 1.4 rather than 1.5 effective machines of the copper cable to each green machine. So I don't want to change the design of the green, so I'll probably leave it, and I think it's probably just about enough to handle our 6,000 a minute, so I'll probably leave it, but certainly I think there are some savings that can be gained here. Why are you not moving? You should have an activity on that. Interesting. So yeah, we probably have too many inserters on this, and probably too many platforms altogether, and I could probably, because the ratio of these to the red machines, especially if we use our complete surround, is well, it's massive. I can only reach 4 doing it in this row by row approach, but if I was to redo it, one of these would probably serve 8, I think. Is it 8? Because I think it's 6 without bonuses, so that would make it 8.4. So in actual fact, when you've got multiple of them, you'd every 3 you'd actually get a 9th. So yeah, we'd have a lot fewer of these, and it may actually make sense to allow the bots to carry the product, and then we can probably crunch this up, because the number of trips that need to be made is a lot smaller than all of this, so we could probably just have one delivery platform and one load platform. And blue processing units, I've built this for end SpaceX heavy module. Let's do 20,000 processing units per minute. We're not going to be in that stage for a long period of time, so I can probably deconstruct it back to, well, all the science, which is what we're going to be doing for quite some time. Basically, we need processing units there. We don't need them anywhere else. Nowhere else takes modules. I mean, the level 1 modules don't need processing units, so it's basically the 3 times that 3,000 cycles divided by 1.4, so you get 2,000 processing units. times 3. So we really only need 6,400. So I can reduce this whole thing to about a third of its size. And that would save us an awful lot of machines. So instead of 2 stacks, there would be the equivalent of 2/3 of 1. So there's some savings we can do, but obviously it's going to be quite hard to get back to 6060 once we're doing our 6000 science. I mean, the other thing I'm pretty sure I need is another iron stack for sure, because blue science just guzzles a lot of resources. But I think what I'm going to do is we'll finish this lot off. We will then build out. We'll build out science. And then we'll turn on science. We also need to do oil for the launches, so we're not really ready for doing any more launches, but we have a ton of science. We've got 160,000 sitting on that. We have another 73,000, so there's 230,000 science. We probably have some more in these. Yes, we do. So in fact, if we open that up, 312. We'd have to have 312,000 space science sitting around, so we could actually do a lot of infinite research without even doing another launch. Relatively speaking. Anyway, so to finish this off, what we are going to need to do is basically get a bunch of furnaces, get some trains. The other thing I think I've done is I believe I've actually over-specced the mine out here. I have put about 300, I think. Let's just check the numbers. I'm going to put like 6 trains here, 316, but I mean what my numbers for number of trains for the mine really mean is how many trains can you fill up inside a minute, and I need this to fill up 3 trains a minute, so that's 150, and that's all I need it to do. So I think I'll come over here and rip out 150 miners just to save some resources. Where's my guy? Oh, I'm on the train. Okay. Let's travel down the wrong side of the road for me. I then need to put the trains on this section. Slow down. Oh, and I also don't have enough bots here. How many do we have? In fact, 300. Yes, that won't be enough. So we want to get rid of about 850 of these. Oh, I don't want to pick up. I don't want to pick up red boxes. So if we go like this, blacklist, whoops, not trees only, but blacklist, I think that means we don't pick up the red boxes. Let's just check. Yep, that's right. So they're full of stone, so I don't want to pick them up, but I do want to pick up about 150 of the miners, and I'm actually including 2 of those. Let's blacklist roboports as well. So we don't get roboports in the list. It's interesting, you could actually choose certain trees that you want to keep. Not that we want to do that, ever. But maybe you would like to. Okay, so yeah, let's rip up all these miners, because I don't believe we want overstock miners. Unfortunately, we are going to be left with all of these passive providers. Oh, I'm picking up the power as well. That maybe wasn't such a good idea. see if we can give each of these areas back its power. Well, I don't want your stone. There's the stone and the miners that I'm getting, if you were wondering. Oops. Too many miners. Too many miners, too many stone, too many of those. Okay, that should sort out, oh, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare give me that stuff. Thank you. Now, I don't believe you have any construction bots, so let us donate you, about that. Whoops. Well, you've got 17 now. And I think you can also have, say, 10 of those for future purposes. Now, these need to have a meaningful name. Trees and Joe Crosby won't do. Do I have any existing stone? I probably do. Don't know where Ronnie is, but we'll find him in due course. I have a stone 1. Alright, well this can be stone 2. And so can that. There we go. Come back to me, my robots. Yep, we're all set. So, that's the stone brick. That will probably handle, by the time we've added productivity research, I will probably never need to move on from this one patch of 70 million stone, even with our requirements. What I need to do is feed this a bunch of trains and also set up the refueling capability. Does look like, oh no, there we go, there's our stop. So yeah, we need to get the trains to get past this point, and then we can break all this line off, and then create our refueling. I think probably a trip back to engineering would be in order, and we can also at that time, what's this? That is something I don't, whoops, what have I done with it? I've put it up here. Let's get a blueprint of this, just so that we know how much stuff we require. Change the icon to stone brick, just so we know that that's the one. And yeah, I guess we will run back to engineering, get the trains coming, get the stuff, and I'll probably have to call the episode there, because I think we will, yes, you've gone, so you might as well go. Let's go to engineering unload, because this is the stuff that I'm going to want to pick up. If I can carry all of that, I'm not sure. Sorry this episode was a bit disjointed. It was rather disjointed for me too, because I started building something and then decided it was wrong, and needed to rework my calculations, and then ran backwards and forwards, and I was concerned about our UPS, which, you know, it's jumping around a bit. I don't know why it suddenly got so high. What are we doing? We're doing something. We're building a few green circuits. It shouldn't be as high as it is though. Do I have any other excuse, or is everything just bad? Is everything just bad? How busy are you guys? You're very busy. I'm going to blame it on the solar power. But yeah, certainly it is going to be a challenge to get to 60 UPS with our 6000. A challenge that we will embrace. And we'll see how well we can go. But I think we've probably done enough for this episode. We haven't quite finished off our build there like I was sort of hoping to, but these things have a habit of taking more time than you allow. I'll get the trains pumped over there, we'll finish off building it and get back to science in the next episode. Thanks for joining me guys, and I'll see you then. Bye bye for now.